Yes and no. When I was in high school and then the first part of college, I thought I wanted to be a doctor, physician, like my dad. I just really liked science and I really liked working with people. And I thought like the human body was super cool. But then as I like evaluated my life and thought about my dad, he goes to work at like 7:30 in the morning, and if he gets home at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, that's early. He gets home at 9:30, 10, like all the time. And I want to get married and have kids, and I couldn't put those two together. So I was like, no, not medical school. And then I was like, okay, what do I do? And then I kind of happened upon teaching, which I really liked. There's aspects of it that weren't perfect. Particularly, it was missing like the medical field. So what I'm doing now, optometry, is like nice work-life balance, and it has that medical side of it, I would say. So did I know? Not really. I think success is being happy with what you're doing and not wishing that you could change something. There's going to be times where you're not going to love every single thing, but for the most part, you want to really enjoy what you're doing. And I think if there's a little inkling in you that you want to try something else or you want to do something else, if you can go for it, if you can do that, I think you should. Because I think that's going to hold back your success in doing whatever you're doing. If you're not completely happy with your life and your situation, if you can change it, I think you should. So that you can be successful and feel good about what you're doing and how you're contributing to society. I think going back to high school, I even took risks then in just taking all the classes that I took. That was, I don't know that I would tell anyone to do that. That was a little crazy. Like, taking 5 AP classes in 1 year is very aggressive. Very aggressive. And I was tired that whole year, I would say. I vividly remember we'd have block schedule Monday through Thursday, and then Friday would be all classes. And I can remember on Fridays being so delirious because I was so tired from the rest of the week that I'd walk around like, oh my gosh. And I mean, that's a risk. And to not succeed in those courses, I mean, succeeding doesn't mean all A's or whatever, but I would have been sad had I pushed myself so hard and then not being able to reach the level that I wanted so that I could carry on with my life the way I wanted to go. And then a more recent risk, I think, is obviously going back to school is a risk in the sense that I am incomeless at the moment, which is fine. You get school loans and you just pay them back, and it's just how it is. But obviously it's a risk to kind of restart your life in a way. But I think if it's something you want, then you should go for it and you should do it and not say no. I mean, people change their careers. I feel like I've heard the statistic that a lot of people have 2 careers in their life, and I just happen to have my two careers very early on compared to other people. A couple of years ago, I went to the open house at the school I'm currently at, and before I had thought of optometry as if you go to the optometrist, if you have healthy eyes, all that happens is they put the thing in front of you, the phoropter, I now know the term, the phoropter, and they say 1 or 2, which is better. And so initially I was like, I don't really want to just do that. But now, after going to that open house, and then now, of course, after going to that open house, I learned that there's so much more medical side of it than I realized. There's the back of your eye tells you so much. It's one of the first places you can tell if someone has diabetes. It's one of the first places, or not first places, you can detect, in certain circumstances, you can detect a brain tumor by looking at the back of the eye, which is like rare, but still like be horrible to find, but super cool at the same time. You can, MS, multiple sclerosis. It's one of the first places you can detect that based on if they start losing their vision because of the optic nerve. There's just so much more medical side of optometry than I realized there was, while still having that patient interaction and that person interaction that I really enjoy and really like. And they talk about how their patient interaction isn't cut short. It isn't cut, you still have 20 minutes with your patient, where a lot of doctors now are almost being cut to like 7 or 8 minutes, and then that's it. And you're like, hi, bye. Like, I like the longer time. I like getting to know your patients, students, people. Like, go for what you want, and don't be afraid to fail or what you think is failing. And also don't be afraid to change your mind. Because I think sometimes you get stuck in this idea that I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to medical school. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor. And you try things out that are related, and you realize you're like, that was okay. That was fine. Okay. So if that's not really what you like, then don't do it. Do something else that you really love, and try to do that the best possible that you can. With that, I think at this time in your life, when you're in high school, that means volunteering at different events. Even if you think it's awkward and weird, that's the way that you figure out if you like something or not, to try it. You can look in a book and read about it and be like, oh, it sounds cool, but you might go, I don't know, so say you really like animals and you want to be a vet. You might, okay, I'm going to work in a pet shelter. Great. You go to the pet shelter, you're there, and you realize you're like, love animals, do not want to do this. And that's important. And it would be horrible if you went to school undergrad, got into veterinary school, started, and was like, no, this is horrible, right? You could have spent all that time doing something else. That being said, that experience could be really valuable for the other thing you want to do, so it's not a bad thing to do that, but to change your mind late, but like me. But it's okay. Because I think teaching for me, well, you all might think that I'm like kind of a talker and like kind of like stand in front and have no issues, but I'm actually a very shy person, and when I'm in my group of friends, I don't talk that much. I'm very quiet. And in high school, I was like, giving a presentation would have been horrible. Oh my gosh. But now, teaching, I had to stand in front of everyone every day, and I don't know, it was good for me. It was a good experience. It taught me things about myself, and it made me, figure out who I am as a person, which is important.
So the last question is, can you be my optometrist once you graduate?
I can. I certainly can. Hopefully I'm good enough for you guys.